Meet Daniel Pratt. Before becoming a flat earther living in his aunt's garage, he used to work for NASA as a pipe cleaning sponge. For a while, he was doing great, but at one point he wanted more. Like most of us, he wanted to go to space. Unfortunately, after NASA rejected his internal application for the astronaut program, he completely lost it and quit the space agency. From then on, he got a new job as a professional village idiot who spends his past time constantly creating and losing YouTube channels, moaning about NASA, and ranting about how his omniscient God is so weak that certain human elites can just simply hide him by lying to the rest of us about the true shape of the Earth, which is supposedly flat. Apparently, the supposed lie that Earth is an oblate spheroid is somehow keeping God handcuffed somewhere. So, Mr. Pratt, what have you got for us this time?
So it seems to me 3 days ago, I put out a video asking for a physics-backed, reality-based explanation for how Globe Priest insists that a helicopter hovering over a parking lot in California can conserve angular momentum for over 50 hours.
I really would like to see a helicopter that's able to hover for over 50 hours without refueling. Trust me, that would be incredible.
Then how does a plane taking off at the equator, according to Globe Cucks, carrying 1,000 miles per hour angular momentum laterally?
The only thing that's gonna be carrying 1,000 miles per hour lateral angular momentum would be your head when you hit it against the water boiler in your garage.
How does it lose that momentum by the time it gets to the North Pole, where the land is physically moving at only 3 inches per day?
A simple and short answer would be, gradually, aka slowly over time. That's it. Other than that, I'm not even gonna try to explain to you how the inertial reference frame is a thing, or that the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth, or how long would it take to fly from the equator to one of the poles.
That would be like a plane moving sideways, literally at 1,000 miles per hour, trying to land on an all but stationary Earth.
Airplanes are aerodynamically incapable of flying sideways. Therefore,
it doesn't work in reality.
What you just described isn't the actual reality. And you, dear moron, are still not gonna be closer to understanding the real reality.
Likewise, a plane taking off at the North Pole in a virtually stationary state cannot gain the 1,000 miles per hour lateral momentum, angular momentum it would take for it to land safely at the equator.
That's one bold-ass statement. Do you understand how reason works? Let me explain to you. Impossibility or possibility of something needs to be demonstrated, not just asserted. If you can't show it, you don't know it. Other than that, I already addressed this point.
Just ask any aircraft carrier pilot ever if they would want to try to land a plane on an aircraft carrier going sideways at 1,000 miles per hour. How they think that would work out?
Show me a ship that is sailing sideways or sailing in whichever way at such speeds, then we'll talk again. Besides, I wouldn't want to be laughed at for asking such a silly question.
I've gotten a bunch of threats.
Oh, did your uncle threaten to kick you out of the garage? You poor child.
A bunch of whining about how you can't eradicate me from YouTube.
Why would anybody need to whine about that? You're doing a great job at canceling yourself all the time. Could you please remind us how many times has YouTube kicked you off its platform already? I've lost count.
I've got a spazzed out triggered stalker in his basement.
Hey, technically speaking, how can a basement stalker be stalking you in your garage? Wouldn't the stalker need to get out of the basement first?
Doing everything he can to discredit me, but can't seem to do it.
Do you honestly think that anyone would need to discredit an idiot? No discrediting attempts necessary.
But we still haven't got that physics-backed, reality-based explanation for once again how your globe is a ridiculous fantasy and doesn't ever check out in reality. How's that explanation coming?
How would you expect us to explain to you how our globe is a fantasy while it's not actually a fantasy? The only thing that's a fantasy here is your ridiculous perception of the globe model. It's absolutely fantastically flawed, and it definitely doesn't check out in reality.
Oh yeah, You don't have one because it's insanity. And it really triggers you clowns when we keep pointing that out.
The only thing that sometimes triggers on my end is the YouTube notification when you post one of your crazy rants here. And what's wrong with such a trigger? Really nothing. You're giving me enough fresh meat to work with. When the meat comes with a notification, it's even better. And on that note, if you like to see more content like this, subscribe and hit the bell icon, so you won't miss any new triggered episodes here. Thank you.